What's going on, beautiful and exotic women of the world? Today, I want to talk about why it's so important that gorgeous girls do not trauma dump. It is so important that as beautiful women, we don't base our friendships and our relationships on the low parts of our lives. We have to start forging friendships and relationships that are based in leveling up, elevating, becoming our greatest versions, and being our best self. And you cannot build a strong foundation for a friendship on the things that you all have in common that are negative. What does this look like? This looks like you both come from abusive homes, so all you do all day is talk about how your parents wronged you. You both were in abusive relationships, so all you talk about all day is the man that did you dirty. And while you can connect with your friends and with people you meet on similar life experiences, the whole entire friendship should not be based on the negative things that have happened to you that you all have in common for many reasons, and we're going to get into it. One of the first reasons why you don't want to do this is because when you begin to grow as a human being, as most human beings are required to in order to reach new heights in life, if you decide that that thing that you and your friend have bonded on is no longer going to be a factor in why you are held back or why you aren't at a certain place in your life, and you decide to stop being a victim and fight for a better life for yourself, and you actually grow out of being a victim of what happened to you, that friend who is still in that place will feel uncomfortable by you deciding that you want better for your life. So they'll be uncomfortable when you call and you don't want to talk about your trauma. You don't feel like talking about all the crappy things that have happened to you today and woe is me and oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, that. You know, they're going to be uncomfortable that you don't want to take part in those types of conversations anymore. Who has time to do that, girl? Life is already hard as it is. I don't want to call you on the phone and talk for hours and hours about how shitty your life is and how, even though I'm giving you advice on how you can change it, you still don't want to change. I don't have time for it. Not my cup of tea, not for me. I'm sorry. So that friend is going to be annoyed by you and will most likely will start to distance herself because you're no longer scratching that itch for her. You're no longer fueling the fire of her trauma. And you're no longer giving her a listening ear so that she can be a woe is me victim instead of picking herself up and deciding that she wants better for her life. Another reason why you don't want to trauma dump with your friends and why gorgeous girls shouldn't trauma dump with anyone is because some people have really, really bad motives when they are talking to you and when they want to learn more about you. Some people view you as this trophy, they look at you on a pedestal, and they think that your life is perfect. But the second you open your mouth and you start sharing about stuff that you've gone through, and they either feel intimidated by you because of it, or the stuff that you've gone through they've done to other people, so they feel guilty, or whatever the case is, some people will take what you've told them and use it against you, or they will use it to judge you and go tell other people. Whichever way you flip it and reverse it, it's harmful to share with people your trauma unless you've really gotten to know that person on a deeper level. Again, know your limits. Am I saying that you should never talk to people about the things you've gone through ever? No. I think it makes you very personable and very vulnerable, and that's an admirable thing when you can be open about the things that you've gone through. The difference is you are speaking about those things from a place of it's in the past, I've healed from it, I've grown from it, I'm better for it. When you're trauma dumping with strangers, you are basically just spilling all of your tea and everything is just horrible. You know what I'm saying? There was no solution. There was no, but I got better from it, but I healed from it, but here's what I've been able to do with this pain. It's all about how can I just tell this person all that I'm going through and all that I'm suffering with. And that really is no one's business unless you trust them and you know them really well. So trauma dumping is dangerous. And I find that this happens a lot when maybe you're at an event or you're at a party where there's drinks flowing and you may just open your mouth a little bit too wide, and it can turn people off. If it falls onto the wrong ears, people will hold on to that to use against you. They'll tell rumors to other people about you, about what you've told them. They'll put their own little stank on it so that, they'll try to twist the story and make it sound even worse. You just don't want your information falling into the wrong lap. So just be aware of this, ladies. You have to be a lot more vigilant as a beautiful woman because people are always and already looking for ways to tear you down. So you don't want to trauma dump. And I do find that people who are really vindictive, who try to like bait you to tell negative things and negative stories about your life, they are doing this because they need some type of leverage over on you. Again, when you are beautiful, you are a target for vindictive women, for conniving women. And sometimes these women need some type of one up or leg up in order to feel better about themselves or in order to use the information you're telling them against you in the future. And you just never want to give people leverage over you. You know, I talked about this in a previous video, but you always want to be one step ahead of your enemies. And the way you do that is you only share what you don't care will get out. So I know for me, there are things that I've gone through that I will probably never share with anyone unless they are like close family or my man. And that's because you never want to show your full hand. It's just some things just aren't for everybody to hear. And some things you really have to take with you to the grave in some instances. And I just don't think that it's smart or wise for gorgeous girls to get some drinks in them or, you know, hang around a certain person or a certain group a few times and then all of a sudden you're just telling your whole life story. No, you have to test people's spirit and see if they're even worthy of hearing about your life and knowing about your life in that intimate way, because some people will really harm you for being vulnerable. And I've also spoken about this in a lot of my videos in the past too, but when you are vulnerable with certain people and they see how much you've gone through, they're almost intimidated and threatened by the fact that you were able to pull yourself up from the mud. You know, some people are just even more jealous and envious of you because they know if they were in your shoes, they wouldn't have survived half of the stuff you've gone through. So if they already didn't like you for your appearance, if they already were hating you without knowing you just because of how you looked, girl, what do you think is going to happen when you tell that lady that, you know, you were in debt because whatever reason and you made it out and now you make six figures and you live in this house? What do you think that lady is going to hate you even more? Because dang, like, if I was in that situation, would I have been able to do that? No. Look at the favor over this person's life, and people can be very jealous of favor. So just be aware of this, ladies. I want to encourage you all to just continue to use strategies like not trauma dumping, so that you don't kick yourself and allow someone to hurt you because of the information you tell them. And also, just for your own self development and for your own progression, it's not healthy to dwell on all of the hurt and pain that you've had and make that the basis of a friendship. I remember I used to have a friend who we would do that all day. We would just talk about all our negative experiences all day long. And it felt really good because it's like this person knows what I've gone through. You know, they can be there for me because they've experienced this and lived this. But it always ends up going south because there's always one person who decides no more, I'm doing better for myself and I'm going to remove myself. And the second I did that, this friend started to compete with me like crazy. And all of a sudden, we weren't friends anymore. And it really hurt me, but it just showed me even more that you can't build friendships off of trauma. You have to build friendships off of what you guys have in common that is positive, your faith, the hobbies that you guys share, the things that you are interested in. That's what a healthy friendship should be based on. So, ladies, drop down in the comment section. Please let me know your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what you think. I'll also be leaving my email in the description so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.